My name is Hunter.
And my name is Shannon Kaufman. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about our mission trip and what it means, what it meant to us, and what it meant to give during that time and give going forward. So, I guess, Hunter, if you want to start off with why you took a week out of your time to go on the mission trip?
I took a week to go on a mission trip so I could learn more about God and help others that needed help.
So I went on the mission trip also, not only to help and chaperone, but really to kind of branch out a little bit and see what God's work was like in other bigger cities. And so that's why I decided to go on the mission trip this year. So where'd you see God's work happening when you were there?
I saw God's work at each of our work sites and at the church when we were with the rest of the other church groups.
Yeah, good. So a couple places that I saw it. The big one, it was, as many of the kids that went on the mission trip would know, is we worked at Thrift Mart. And the gentleman that kind of helped us and guided us through each one of our little projects was Uncle Chuck, was his name. And I learned a lot from him, and he was definitely I'd call him one of God's helpers. Everything he said to him, he took. If anything you're telling me are happening throughout the day, his big thing was, God bless you, God's at work, thanks to God, or thanks be to God, and had no issues at all expressing his faith. And that was huge for me, because it's not something we normally do. We don't talk to somebody else and say, you had a great day. Well, thank God for that day, and bless you. When you're leaving, you say goodbye, but you don't say bless you necessarily. And Uncle Chuck had absolutely no problem doing any of that. So definitely one of God's helpers in that respect, and where we worked at the pencil box too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do at the pencil box?
We packed like school boxes for people, like for the teachers that needed school supplies.
Yep. So there was all kinds of school supplies that were donated, and we packed them up into individual pieces or 10 packs, and teachers were allowed to go in there and pick up stuff for their students that normally couldn't afford it. And obviously, when there's not enough money for some of the inner schools, some of their general supplies they couldn't afford either. So what that pencil box was a place they could go and get stuff for free, basically go shopping for free. So that was a huge benefit to that particular area. So what else, Hunter? So how did your family at St. John's support you before and during and even after?
Well, they helped us fundraise for the trip and helped us, like motivated us to go on a mission trip to Nashville.
Yep.
And help others in need.
Yeah, and I would say that before it was all the fundraisers we did, and with the people of St. John are great. They give generously to all our fundraisers, and that sure is appreciative, especially for our youth to be able to go to these locations and learn about just the different ways that God works in different communities. And even while we were there, I mean, we got to see all kinds of different people from different churches. As far as St. John's support, obviously I was there, a pastor was there. So we had, Leanne was there. I mean, we had all kinds of support from our church. And after, I suppose, one, we're doing this video, and another is just people were asking how, what we did while we were there. So it was great to be able to share that. And we shared it in church too, right? So good. Okay, so how else has how has the trip changed how you feel about giving?
Like my time and stuff. On helping God and others in need.
Yeah, that our time might be valuable to us, but it's very valuable to God, and to be able to have that opportunity to give in that way of our time and our talents is a huge piece, and it rewards tenfold easy. Now in my case, you know, my giving is also monetary, and it is great to see that my monetary gifts go to such great causes as the mission trips, where the children have a chance, as well as the adults that were there, have a chance to learn just how God works in different ways through different organizations. And so it's just so important that we continue to support that, you know, as adults and as kids. We continue to support that financially, as well as time and talents.